Day 167. It was kind of a rough night. It wasn't very windy, but it was very wet. All of my stuff is wet. I had to take off to go take a morning deuce. Put on cold, wet pants and cold, wet socks because, it's cold this morning, man. Brr. I think the high only reaches 60 today. But it'll get warmer again. And there's no rain in the forecast for the next week or so. So, groovy. I already have my coffee made, and it's getting cold right now. But I generally don't bring it with me to poop because it's hard to walk with an open cup of coffee and sip on it and look through the fog for a place to poo. Everything's wet, so I didn't want to go too far in, but I didn't really have a choice. And as you can see, it's, foliage up in here, so you ain't just going to go in there and drop a deuce and come back unscathed. You're going to get wet. Plus, there's mud pits everywhere. Yeah, it's Vermont. There's 12. Okay, we are back. Squish, squish, squish. All right. I have to dry and clean all of my stuff. It's mildly moist and mildly dirty. Here's camp. We were right off the trail. Feel bad for everybody who kept walking. We heard a lot of people go by us. But it pretty much as soon as we were done setting up camp, we had to hide. The rain had hit. Had to make my dinner in there and all that. And everybody had walked by saying, "Oh no, we're going to that shelter that's down 6 miles." So I know they all got soaked. We'll see them later today and find out how bad it was for them. And we're off. Okay, mud puddles galore, lots of fog, very moist, pretty damn cold, but it should shape up to be a nice day. It's hard to tell where the mud puddles are right now because there's no real footprints in them. It all kind of looks like ground, but when you see ground with big wet footprints in it, you don't step in those. But they've all been smoothed over from the rain last night, so they're just mud pits waiting to get me. And my shoes are relatively dry right now, so I'm gonna try to keep them that way. But if they get a little moist, we gotta stop at some point and dry our gear out. So, two birds, one stone kind of thing. Like that. Guess whose footprint that is? At least there's less moisture in there. Little pond. I'm hoping the whites aren't horrible. Mildly dreading those. I just remember cold, wet rocks last time, gray skies. Weather so bad that we're like, how do we get out of here? They sent us down, I think it was Tuckerman's Ravine or something. All super dangerous. Only have to go back up and do it again later. I mean, they brag about having the world's worst weather, so, when that's all you got, I guess you brag about it. I've looked at and cut views on places this year that I did not back in 2017. But I'm not really hopeful for the whites. Just try to get through them and suffer as little as possible. Got a little bit misty out here. The wind is kicking in. You'd think it was going to storm, but from what our phones say, we are safe. a little better. Humidity seems to have dropped a bit, but now it's way colder. I'm looking for a spot to take a little break, but there's nothing open. You don't want to go into the foliage. It's all wet. Oh, it looks like she found a little spot right up here. It'll work. Safety. Temperature keeps dropping. Sure seems like it would gonna be a rainy day. But I prefer to believe the forecasts. Oh, I hear a couple birds. Twelve is disappointed that her state is represented like this. She didn't know that the trail went through, the muddiest part. Because she's like, we have mud season, but that's over well before we get there. I was like, I don't know. I remember it being a muddy mess last time I was there. So, evidently, according to her, there are much more beautiful places than this in Vermont. They just choose to represent themselves this way. They could have put the trail anywhere in the state, and they could build those little boardwalky things that other places build. But those would probably sink as well. Maybe come along with like gravel and put it in the mud pits. I don't know. Vermont. More Vermont. You can tell how much the Trail Association out here cares about their trail. It's been so overgrown that at several times early in the morning I had to stop and check my maps. I was like, this is more overgrown than the AT regularly is. Ooh, almost. Do not want to face plant in a mud puddle. That would just be embarrassing. I'd actually have to rate this right now as the worst state to walk through. I was thinking Pennsylvania, but the rocks only last for like 3 days. And even then, throughout the whole state, you got places to get food and stuff. There's nice little towns. This state's just mud the entire time. And there's no real cool towns. They take you by the richest town in the state, and then just a big dirty one, Rutland, I believe it is. Yeah, no cool trail towns or anything. Maybe we can just reroute the trail around this state. I'm sure there's other states that are better to walk through. We made it to the shelter. This place is chock full of people, so I went in and I was nice enough to wake everybody up. What time is it? It's 7:40, man. I only woke them up like 10 minutes ago or so, 7:30. That's totally an acceptable time, but everybody was straight sleeping, so I just went to, they're clogging up everything, got their clothes hanging over everything. They all got caught in the rain, I understand. But, I just went in and did my thing. I'm not trying to be noisy, but everything I have is made of plastic, filter and water and stuff. Shit, you gotta come to expect if you're a shelter dweller. Hey, look at the size of this thing. Oh, this is nice. It's warmer in here than outside. Locking myself in for safety. It is dreary and cold as hell. And it's only August 20th. It's gonna get a lot colder. Hey, there's the fire tower. They took off the bottom ladder to get up there. So it's a little more difficult. If you wanted to, you totally could. But not worth it. Oh, do not enter, huh? Huh? Yeah, we want to go this way now. One way. Do not enter. Do not enter! Well, I guess at least it's not mud for the time being. It's been a river for about, I don't know, past half mile. But it's a sandy river. It's slightly warmer. I'm not in horrible pain. I'm just really uncomfortable. Hoping the sun decides to come out and do its job today. That guy lately, he's either been an overachiever cooking my ass or nowhere to be found. Al Gore and Kid Rock had a child together, and that child built a shelter, the Kid Gore shelter. Alright, I'm gonna have second coffee at this one. The other one was just jam full of people, so there's, nowhere to sit down, no picnic table or anything. There's a little bench in there, but they had it covered and they're crap drying. So let's see how many stragglers are still here. There's tree pea falling. That keeps people in their tents and in shelters much longer than it normally would. Well, gotta have 3 of them out here, huh? This place has that many bears. The Kid Gore shelter was nice. We stayed there for damn near an hour. Met another hiker in there, El Flaco. He's on his 7th through hike right now. He just triple crowned last year on the CDT the same year I did. What small world. He was just finishing it up, though. He had done most of it back in 2016 or something. And he was just finishing up the part he did that he had missed. But he was cool. I liked the cut of his jib. Instantly liked him when I met him. He's going the other way, though, so that was the last time I'll see him. Jeez Louise, taking a little time off made me cold to get back out here. I'm even wearing more stuff. I put on plastic and shite. This is pretty. We're headed downhill considerably. So I'm hoping that we just get down below like cloud line or whatever, some sort of storm line. Sometimes storms just cling to the tops of hills. Maybe it's a beautiful sunshiny day in the valley. Not that there is a valley. Or maybe it's going to be the day of infinite tree pea. There's enough moisture in the air and enough precipitation falling to keep these leaves eternally wet. Every time the wind comes by, it just dumps on you. Like that. "12 noticed this little guy. I wouldn't have seen him. Look how well he blends. Just chilling there. He's like, I am not here. Humans are like T-Rexes. If I don't move, they won't see me. I would have walked right over him. Oh, we've hit the beaver bog. I don't know if it's called that because there's actually beavers in there, but I don't see anything. No chewed up trees. There's no beavers here. They're lying to me. Oh, here's the real beaver bog. Actually, a beaver house. But no beavers. Oh, it's this beaver house too, technically. They're the ones that damned it. Okay, real quick shelter stop. Just, had some snacks and whatnot. Ooh, my dogs are barking. I've been walking in wet shoes all day, though. And we're at a good, 15 miles or so in at this point. And not a really easy 15 miles, I might add. Not real hard either, but slow going. Pick your way. And it's still cold. It looks like it's going to rain. Forecast says no. But the skies say yes. So we jumped on a trail that is not on our map because I think it goes in the direction we want. Oh, we're going to find out the hard way whether it does or not. But we're hoping it leads us to a blue blaze that takes us to a lake. And there is a shelter on this lake. Yep, it led exactly where I thought it would. So it follows down for just a little bit. And there's a blue blaze that cuts off. And there were a lot of people behind us, but we heard most of them are going into town tonight. There's a hostel that picks you up and all that stuff. So hopefully it won't be as crowded. But we're going to try to get there kind of early. Claim our spots as we do. Okay, you are here. That is not where I got down to the road. That's where I wanted to, but I totally missed it. So I found another one right here that led around down here, right there, right there. We walked over. We're here now. Now, we can take the AT all the way around, but yeah, that's not how we do things around here. So we're taking this bad boy up 3+ miles to get up to Stratton Pond. Dum, dum, dum. There's actually 2 shelters up there, so we could go to the more desolate one. It's on the far side of the lake, and assume less people will be there. But what if everybody had the same thought and they all went there because they thought there'd be less people there? We're all there at the same time. I actually have memory. Yeah, I definitely have memories of this shelter, even though I haven't been there yet. But I'm pretty sure the part I'm missing right now, it climbs up a mountain. Because I didn't take the blue blaze last time. I didn't know about blue blazes last time. I didn't have a map. But it went around. It went up a fire tower. I climbed the fire tower to see clouds. Yeah, pretty much it was just sucked in by clouds. It was wet. It was cold. I remember I was unhappy. And then come down to the shelter I'm headed to now. It had a caretaker, and I believe it was pay to stay. Doesn't say anything about that on Far Out, but I'm pretty sure there's a caretaker that had a pad near the lake, and he came up and asked for money, and we told him we're just riding out the storm on the porch. But I'm not positive. The blue blaze leading in goes back and forth. It's nice and manicured, little boardwalks and stuff. And then it's sloppy mud pits. And then it's nice again. Good terrain, nice dirt, maybe some little boardwalks, and it's slop. Ooh, these things are slick. I do not trust them. Yes, they're nicer and easier than walking through slop with rocks in it. But I feel like that at any moment I'm going to end up on my back. As I was leisurely walking towards the lake, I noticed somebody creeping up behind. So I had to turn on the speed. One person doesn't bother me, but generally one means more. I don't know how many people are already at this lake, but since it's a cabin on the lake, I have to assume there's going to be somebody there. At least it's not a weekend, it's Tuesday. That'll help out. See, I'm trying to pull off ahead. Get 12 a good spot. Snag myself a good spot. Then I don't care. All the people can roll in that they want. I want to be able to hang my stuff up and dry it a bit. Still carrying a good extra pound of water on my back. But the sun never really came out today. I wore this thing all day. Had to have a layer on. Not much of a layer, but ooh, it's a chilly day. Tomorrow's supposed to be colder. But there's like a warming hut or something about 15 miles up. And turns out, according to the weather, there's a chance it's going to rain tomorrow. Damn line thing said it wasn't, but we did move to a different town, so whatever. So we're hoping we can make it to that thing where they have dryers, electricity, and Wi-Fi. Okay, so we made it to the lake. It's quite beautiful. The water is pretty warm because I'm using it to wash my shoes and my pants off. And that worked pretty well. Took off a, good inch of mud off of everything. I didn't find the ideal spots, but I found this pretty good spots. There's a lot of people camping there. There's families with the 8-man tents and whatnot hogging up all the platforms. I didn't want to be anywhere near that, so I found a nice secluded spot. But we had to come down here and grab some agua. So we set up camp, cooked the food, all that fun stuff, and the sun went down. It's going down pretty early. It's like 7:30 now. And damn, the temperature dropped. So we had to go hide in our respective tents. We're just not comfortable out there. Don't have the proper clothes to hang out. I mean, I have puffy jackets, but I already had them underneath my hammock acting as my underquilt. So I wasn't going to take one of those off to just be warm. So we're going to hide. We're going to sleep in tomorrow just a little bit. We're going to leave at like 4:30, hoping to beat the rain to the next dry spot. But tomorrow's supposed to be super cold. I think the highs are in the low 50s. I know it's not super cold to most people, but it is to me, and it's too early to be this cold. I think today is August 20th, maybe the 21st at best. It's way too early for it to be this cold. Good night. See you in the morning.